Montclair is the town it is. It's as successful a place to live because it has a grand mix of people.
Montclair and all of northern New Jersey is becoming a wealthier, more affluent community, and the cost of living here simply is pricing families, many longtime Montclair resident families, pricing them out of the market.
HOMECorp was started in 1988 by a concerned group of religious and other community residents who were concerned about affordable housing and the fact that it was fast disappearing.
You had a couple who were very generous, who bought property on Miller Street. They sold us the property very inexpensively in order to make sure that we could keep it as a low and moderate income housing.
To get something going that would move way out past us and past the tenants at Miller Street into more houses, more people, and more really renewed lives, hopefully.
We came up with the idea of taking homes, or buying homes, reinstituting them so that they become more livable.
The very wonderful thing about it was that we were able to do this keeping the tenants who were there in place.
20 years ago, a lot of people who grew up in the town were suddenly faced with having to move out of town. And they had to move out of town because they couldn't no longer afford the rent. And today, the same thing is happening.
I've been a resident in this town all my life. I work for the town, and I can't afford to live here. What is wrong with that picture?
A lot of my friends that I grew up with, that I know, they have been priced out. They can't live in Montclair anymore.
We get at least 5 calls a day for people who are desperate because they want to stay in where they grew up.
Montclair is home for us. I want it to be home for my children and their children.
I saw the writing on the wall, and I reached out to the housing department in Montclair and asked them, what did they have for people like me? And they told me about HOMECorp.
It's important to have not only the people who use Montclair as a bedroom community, but also the people who provide the infrastructure for Montclair. People who work in our sanitation department, the policemen, the firemen.
Opportunity came, and I saved my money. I worked really hard and did everything they told me to do, and I was able to acquire the home. And I loved my house.
Me and my wife are a hard-working family, and HOMECorp helped us out a lot, because if we didn't, we couldn't afford to rent here in Montclair. Definitely not.
I just prayed to God, can we have like a new apartment with heat? And God answered my prayer.
HOMECorp has allowed me to live in the town where I was born, and it also has allowed me to provide a comfort base for my children and my grandchildren.
It was a dream to get this house, and I want my kids to see what it takes to run a house.
The quality of life of the tenants has improved greatly as a result of HOMECorp acquiring buildings.
It boosts the family morale. The children are different. You could see it. You could see it in their eyes, the excitement.
We're in the business not just to build homes, but we're in the building of building families and helping families and children and mothers and fathers.
Just to see our youngsters have nice housing to live in helps them grow into responsible individuals themselves.
We have housed over 275 residents. That's both tenants and homeowners. We've built and acquired and developed 34 homeownership units and acquired and developed 49 rental units. And all of these units are occupied by low, moderate, and middle-income residents. In addition to the housing product, we also offer counseling.
People think that we receive monies from HUD or some other agency every month to help to pay our bills. We don't.
If you think about what it costs you to do the development work, the rehabilitation or construction work, and then what it costs what we're able to sell it to or rent the units to on an affordability basis, there's a gap. And part of our job is figuring out creative ways to bridge these gaps.
What we need is the capital to help us stay in the game so that then we can go to the government, ask for the grant funds that we need to help write down the project costs.
This is a wonderful town, and it stays that way because we do not push people out.
The difference that HOMECorp is making, among other things, is that it is helping the Montclair community to be an affordable community, an inclusive community, and therefore, from my view, a community that continues to be rich in its culture and heritage.
To maintain that character and to be able to continue to be a place like that that attracts unique and interesting people, the community needs to continue to understand what affordable housing does for the community at large.
I go out on my porch a lot and I look up at the sky and I said, thank you. I'm very, very grateful. And HOMECorp has played a big part in putting my life together.
I just love HOMECorp because I was removed from Montclair because I couldn't afford it. And HOMECorp brought me back home.
When my life is through and the angels, I start out to ask me to recall the thrill of it all, then I will tell them I remember HOMECorp.